My name is Emile. I arrived in New York on a cool evening in September. The air smelled like smoke and hot dogs. The city was loud, fast, and full of light. I had dreamed about this place since I was a boy. But standing in the middle of Times Square, I felt small. It was my first time in the USA. I had come for a short vacation, 5 days. I had a hotel near Central Park, a simple plan, and a pocket dictionary. I had studied English for a year, sometimes every day, sometimes only once a week. But this was different. This was real. I left my hotel after sunset to explore. The buildings were tall like mountains. Yellow taxis moved like bees. I walked and walked. I looked at signs, people, and bright screens. I forgot about time. I turned left, then right, and again left. Then I stopped. I didn't know where I was. At first, I felt calm. I had my phone, right? I opened my bag and froze. My phone was gone. No battery. No, it was not there at all. I had left it on the bed in the hotel. My heart jumped. I had no map, no number, no hotel name in my pocket. I had only my words. I looked around. I saw a man selling pretzels. I walked up to him and said, "Excuse me, hotel?" The man looked at me. "Which one?" I didn't know. I said, "Near, big park, trees. Many trees. Central Park." "Yes. Yes. Central Park." He laughed. "You and 10 million people, buddy." I smiled weakly. "I am lost." He pointed. "You're far. That way's uptown. You need to go north." I didn't understand uptown. But he showed with his hand. I thanked him. "Thank you. Very much. You'll be fine," he said. "Just ask people. Use your English. That's how we all learn." I started walking. I looked at buildings, hoping to recognize something, but nothing looked familiar. Then I saw a man playing guitar on the sidewalk. His open case had coins and a small sign, "Tips equal smiles." I walked closer. He stopped playing and looked at me. "Evening, sir. You like music?" "Yes," I said. "Music is good." I paused. "I have a problem. I am lost." He smiled. "Where are you trying to go?" "My hotel. It is near Central Park." He nodded. "Okay. Do you remember the name?" I closed my eyes. "No. It is big. Many windows. A black door. Red carpet." He laughed gently. "That's every hotel in New York." I laughed too. Then I said, "I walked too far. I forget street." "You'll get back. You got spirit." He handed me a bottle of water. "You need energy." "Thank you. I speak English not perfect." "You're speaking it now," he said. "And I understand you." His words made me feel warm. I waved goodbye and continued. Then I saw a woman walking a small dog. She wore a red coat and had kind eyes. I stopped and said, "Excuse me. I am lost." She knelt to fix the dog's leash, then looked up. "Where do you need to go?" "I look for hotel near Central Park." She asked, "Do you remember the street name?" "Columbus? Fifth Avenue." I shook my head. She said, "Let's think. Do you remember anything? Restaurant near it? Color?" I said, "There is a Starbucks next to it. And a statue. A man with a sword." She smiled. "That's the statue of General Sherman. I know that place." She took out her phone and showed me a photo. "Is this it?" I almost shouted. "Yes. Yes, this is my hotel." She smiled. "Okay, walk straight for 3 blocks, turn left at the traffic light, then keep going. Ask again if you're unsure." "Thank you. Thank you very much. Your English is good. Don't be afraid to use it." I smiled. I felt something rise in my chest, something like pride. As I walked again, I said softly, "Turn left at the light. Walk. Ask again." I had never spoken so much English in one day. And I had never needed it so badly. I didn't just use English to pass a test. I used it to survive. And this, I thought, was only the beginning. I followed the woman's directions carefully. My legs were tired, but I didn't want to stop. The street lights glowed gold and white. A soft wind blew through the trees. I passed stores, cafes, and people in big coats. I looked for the statue of the man with the sword. I was close. But then the streets turned strange again. I couldn't find the statue. I couldn't find the Starbucks. I stopped walking and took a breath. I heard a voice behind me. "Hey man, you okay?" I turned. A young man in a hoodie stood next to a bicycle. He looked friendly. I said, "I am lost. My hotel is near a statue, a soldier. With sword. And Starbucks." He smiled. "I know that statue. General Sherman. You're close. Just missed it by 2 streets. "Oh," I said, feeling a little sad. "Don't worry," he said. "Wanna sit? There's a cafe right there. We can check the map." We walked into a small cafe. It was warm and smelled like coffee and sweet bread. He opened his phone and asked, "Do you remember the hotel name?" I shook my head again. "But I see it before in photo. Black door. Red carpet." He zoomed in on the map. "There. I think that's it. The Plaza Hotel. Is that it?" "Yes. Yes, Plaza Hotel." He smiled. "Cool. You're not far. I can show you the way, or you can follow the map." I said, "Map is good. But, can I sit a minute?" "Of course. I'm Noah. Emil. Nice to meet you, Emil." We sat at a small table near the window. People came in and out, laughing, speaking quickly. I didn't understand everything, but I liked the sound of English all around me. Noah asked, "Where are you from?" "From Romania," I said. "I learned English 1 year. But now, I feel it more. Real." He nodded. "I get it. You're using it now. That's the best way to learn." I smiled. "In class, I know the words. But now, they are alive." He laughed. "That's perfect. That's exactly it. Words come alive when you need them." We sat in silence for a minute. Then I heard a sound, clapping. A small group had gathered near the back of the cafe. A woman stood up with a guitar. "It's word game time," she said. "Who wants to play?" Noah looked at me. "It's fun. English word guessing game. Want to try?" I hesitated. "I don't know many words." "That's fine. Come on. Just for fun." I followed him. The game was simple. One person explained a word without saying the word, and the others guessed. First word, "It is big. You sleep in it." People shouted, "Bed." "Hotel." "Room." I shouted too, "Bed." "Yes," said the woman. She smiled at me. "Nice job." Next word, "It is cold. You eat it with a spoon." "Ice cream." I said. People clapped. I laughed. I didn't win the game, but I played. I spoke. I laughed. After the game, Noah said, "You did great." I said, "I didn't think I can do that. But I did." "Exactly. That's how it happens. 1 word. Then 2. Then a story." I finished my tea. I stood up and said, "I go now. I think I can find hotel." Noah stood too. "Good luck, Emil." I reached out my hand. "Thank you. You helped me." He shook my hand. "You helped yourself." Outside, the city felt different. Not smaller, but kinder. I walked with the map in my mind. English didn't feel like a school subject anymore. It felt like a friend, walking beside me. And I was ready to follow it, wherever it led. The wind was stronger now. It carried the smell of roasted peanuts and car smoke. My shoes were a little wet from the sidewalk, but I didn't care. I was smiling. I walked past tall buildings, one block after another. I looked for the statue, the Starbucks, the red carpet, but I didn't see them. Again. Had I turned the wrong way? I stopped near a fountain and looked around. A group of people stood near a man with a red umbrella. He spoke loudly in English and pointed in different directions. Was it Batur? I walked closer. I didn't ask. I just joined them quietly. The man with the umbrella was saying, "To your right, you'll see the famous Central Park entrance, designed over 150 years ago." I followed them like I belonged. The guide talked quickly. I didn't understand every word, but I caught some: history, statue, famous writer, museum. My brain worked fast. I listened, repeated the words in my head, and guessed the meaning. After 10 minutes, the group stopped in front of a large building. The guide smiled and said, "Now take 15 minutes for photos. Then we continue." I stepped aside, trying not to be noticed. But someone noticed me. A woman in the group turned to me. She had short blonde hair and an accent like mine. "Are you part of the tour?" she asked in soft English. "Not really," I said. "I am lost." She smiled. "Me too, a little. I don't understand the guide." I laughed. "We are both tourists." "Yes. From where are you?" "Romania," I said. "You?" "Poland," she said. "My name is Marta." "Emil," I replied. She pointed at the statue. "Do you know what that is?" I shrugged. "Something important, I think." We both laughed. Then Marta looked nervous. "I need to find the subway station. Do you know where it is?" I didn't, but I felt brave. I said, "Let's ask someone." She nodded. I saw a man with a dog standing nearby. I walked up and said, "Excuse me. Where is the subway?" He smiled and pointed behind us. "Right down those stairs." "Thank you," I said. I turned to Marta and told her, "Down the stairs." She smiled. "Your English is good." I felt something warm in my chest again. "Thank you. I learn, today." She laughed. "You are doing great." We said goodbye, and she walked to the subway. I stood still. Then I looked up. My heart jumped. There it was. The statue. A man on a horse. A sword in his hand. I had seen that statue in the photo with Noah. This was it. My hotel was close. I crossed the street. I walked faster now. Yes, Starbucks. Yes, the red carpet. Yes, my hotel. But when I reached the door and pulled it open, the security guard stopped me. "Do you have your key card?" he asked. I checked my pockets. Empty. I had left the card in the room with my phone. I looked at the guard and said, "I am Emil. I stay here. My room is. I don't remember the number. I lose my card." He raised an eyebrow. "Go to the front desk." I walked to the front desk. A tall man in a suit stood behind it. I took a breath. "Hello. I am Emil. I stay in this hotel. I lost my key card. I left my phone in the room. I don't remember the room number. I am sorry." The man looked at his computer. "Do you have any ID?" I took out my passport and gave it to him. He checked something on the screen. "Okay, Mr. Emil. Room 708. I'll print you a new key." "Thank you," I said. "Really, thank you." He smiled. "Happens all the time." I took the card, walked to the elevator, and pressed the button. Inside the elevator, I looked at the number, 7, floor 7. When I entered the room, everything was just as I had left it. My phone was charging. My coat was on the chair. I sat on the bed. The city outside still roared. But inside me, there was silence. And inside that silence, one thought. Today, I used English. Not in a book. Not in a class. But in life. And it saved me. I lay on the bed, shoes still on, eyes on the ceiling. My heart was calm now, but my thoughts were flying. The day had been long, full of noise and people and streets that looked the same, but I had made it back. I was safe. I was home, at least for tonight. I reached for my phone. It was half charged. I opened the camera and looked at the photos I had taken earlier that day. My first picture in Times Square. A yellow cab. A pretzel. Then I paused at a photo of the cafe where I met Noah. The lights were soft, warm, almost golden. I smiled. That moment felt like something more than just a break from walking, it felt like a door opening. I opened the Notes app on my phone and typed. Today, I got lost. But I spoke. I used English. I asked, I answered. I played. I listened. And people understood me. I understand myself better now. I read the words again. They felt strong. Clear. A strange sound filled the room, a low rumble from outside. I went to the window. A storm was coming. Thunder rolled over the city like slow drums, and rain began tapping on the glass. The city didn't stop. Cars kept moving. People still walked with umbrellas or fast feet. New York never sleeps. And tonight, neither would I. I sat at the small desk in the room and opened the guidebook I brought from home. I had underlined many words and phrases, but now, those words seemed flat. I had learned more in one evening on the street than in weeks of looking at that book. Suddenly, I remembered a sentence from one of my English teachers: "You don't speak a language to be perfect, you speak to be understood." Tonight, I had been understood. The next morning, the rain was gone. The sky was bright, the air clean. I left the hotel after breakfast and walked again, this time with no fear. I knew the area now. The statue, the corner store, the bakery with the warm smell of fresh bread. I stepped into the bakery. A woman behind the counter smiled. "Good morning. What can I get you?" "I want one croissant, please. And coffee. With milk." She nodded. "Anything else?" "No, thank you." "Here you go," she said, handing me the coffee and the pastry. "Nice accent. Where are you from?" I smiled. "Romania." "Ah. I've never been, but I heard it's beautiful." "It is. Mountains. Castles. Forests." "You're visiting New York?" "Yes. 5 days. But yesterday, I got lost." She laughed. "Welcome to the club. Everyone gets lost here. But it was good. I spoke English. A lot. I met kind people." She handed me a napkin. "That's the best way to learn. Brave, too." I left with my croissant in one hand, coffee in the other. I felt taller somehow. Stronger. In the afternoon, I visited a museum. I wanted to see art, but also I wanted to test myself, to listen to the audio guide in English. I put on the headphones and pressed play. At first, it was fast. The voice talked about colors and shapes and artists I didn't know. But I understood enough. I caught phrases like deep blue, light from the window, emotional expression. It was like catching puzzle pieces floating in the air. I picked them, turned them, and slowly, the picture formed in my mind. Near one painting, a child stood with her father. She asked, "Daddy, why is the man in the picture so sad?" The father said, "Maybe because he's alone." I understood every word. It made me think of myself, arriving in New York, walking alone, feeling small. But now, I didn't feel alone. I felt part of something bigger. Later that evening, I returned to the cafe from yesterday. I hoped Noah might be there. He wasn't. But the guitar woman was. She looked at me and said, "Hey. Word game guy." I laughed. "Yes, that's me. Want to play again tonight?" "Yes. I want." The cafe filled with new faces, new voices. A woman from Japan. A man from Brazil. A student from Turkey. All speaking English. All smiling. One of the game questions was, "What do you call it when you go somewhere, but you don't know the way?" I stood and said, "Adventure." Everyone clapped. After the game, the Japanese woman sat beside me. "You speak good," she said. "You too," I said. "Did you study in school?" "Yes. But only grammar. Now I want to speak." "That's same for me," I said. "Yesterday, I was afraid. Now, I want more." She nodded. English is a key. It opens the world. I liked that. A key. Back in my hotel room that night, I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't scroll through my phone. I just sat with a pen and notebook. And I wrote. Today, I used the key. I opened more than doors. I opened myself. The next days went quickly. I visited more places. I ate street food. I listened to conversations on the subway. I talked to museum guards, street sellers, old men reading newspapers. I asked questions. I made small jokes. I laughed in English. On my last morning in New York, I stood outside the hotel one last time. My suitcase was ready. My heart was full. A taxi pulled up. The driver rolled down the window. "Airport?" he asked. "Yes," I said, smiling. JFK. We drove through the city. I looked out the window as buildings and bridges passed by. I thought about the boy I was 5 days ago. Quiet. Unsure. Afraid of making mistakes. Now I wasn't afraid. At the airport, the woman at the check-in desk asked, "Did you enjoy your stay?" I said, "Yes. Very much. Will you come back?" "Yes," I said. "And next time, I will speak even better." She smiled. "You're already doing great." As I walked to my gate, I felt something new. Not just joy, not just pride. Freedom. I understood now, language is not just grammar and rules. It's a bridge. A voice. A way to see the world and let the world see you. I got lost in New York. But I found something much more important. I found my voice. And I spoke.